Well, our first fight is going to feature a man that Dennis just mentioned, Domenic Filane, the national team member, who of course will step into the ring in the 48-kilogram category.
This was our gym, and this is where we did a lot of our training.
The veteran of the national team, Domenic Filane, who just stepped into the ring now from Schreiber, Ontario.
Trained by Adrian Tordescu from Atlas Boxing Gym.
And we got big George Foreman, the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
See a look of determination on the face of Filane. Good combinations by Filane as he's really working. Filane connecting with a lot of those blows. Well, unless there's a dramatic turn of events here in this fight, Domenic Filane will be moving on to those walk-offs quite handily here. Of course, we should mention at the outset, this is for the national championship, but there's bigger things beyond this.
Hello, my name is Domenic Filane Figliomeni, and I was born and raised in Schreiber, Ontario. The Figliomeni is the real name. It's our surname, Domenic Figliomeni. But Filane is a stage name that was taken from my dad, who was a singer-actor in his youth, and he still is.
In Schreiber, he is known as Dom and insists he is no different than any other guy. But in the boxing world, he is Dominic Hollywood Filane, a VIP, a Canadian boxing champion for 10 consecutive years, a record still held today in the light flyweight division. He has represented Canada with distinction for over a decade, bringing home medals from a variety of events around the world. A gentleman athlete, a ferocious boxer. There is no missing the giant blue Domenic Filane sign on the Trans-Canada Highway, erected with pride by the township of Schreiber. With gloves up, wearing his 1997 Canadian Senior Nationals Championship belt, the sign encourages you to stop in to learn more about this great Canadian athlete and to check out Hollywood Filane Sportswear, along with a boxing wall of fame and museum in the downtown area.
I own and operate Hollywood Filane Sportswear and Embroidery, and what we do is embroidery and promotional items and signage and decals and banners, and we like to say that it's our job to make you famous, is what we like to do, whether it's your school, whether it's your hockey team, or whether it's your business. We can do your hats, we can do your jackets, we can do your banners, we can do your signage, your billboards. We're a one-stop shop, so when you come here, boom, you can get everything that you need. We also have a retail store on the front, and we've got some touristy items and things along those lines. And it's more of a personalization place to come to get something personalized, and that's what we do. We have our online store now as well, hollywoodfilane.com. You can purchase a lot of our items online, and you can find out more about our businesses, and that's been working for us as well.
In the famous boxing movie Rocky, Rocky Balboa was asked why he wanted to fight. He replied, "Because I can't sing or dance." Being from a small northern Ontario town where hockey ruled over all other sports, Dominic constantly gets asked the same question.
Like the story goes, I was getting too small for hockey. I couldn't sing or dance like my dad, so I wanted to try something new, and boxing was it. But the real story, like, that's what I tell people, but I was a pretty yappy kid growing up, and a lot of the stuff that came out of my mouth on the way home from school got me in a lot of trouble. So I figured I better learn how to fight so that I could do a little bit better on the way home from school, and joined the local boxing club. I had to beg them to let me in because it was mostly for older guys. All the older high school kids and that were in it, and I was only in grade 6 or 7. And the coach there, Kevin Cox, he said, oh, okay, I bugged him enough that he said, okay, just come give it a shot or whatever. And from the first day I walked into the gym with Kevin, it was one of the last days of my schoolyard scraps, we call them, because I learned how to channel all that negative energy that I had building up in me and channeled it towards one thing, and that was the sport of boxing and being the best I could be once I got into the ring and competed. So boxing pretty much either gave me a lot of opportunity and probably saved me from a lot of beatings.
Dominic left Schreiber to further his education at Seneca College in Toronto. His experience working within the family businesses inspired him to study and develop a unique business of his own that he could bring back to his hometown. Wanting to keep physically fit while in Toronto, he searched out the Atlas Boxing Club. From the moment he entered the doors, Dominic's life would dramatically change.
From there, that's when boxing got serious. And it wasn't that I just wanted to get into shape. So I was there for a week. But the gym I went to, I found out after, was this was just the end of '88, I guess we went. And Lennox Lewis had just got back from the Olympic Games, winning a gold medal. Edgar DeMarcus just got back from the Olympic Games, where he won a silver medal. They're both from this club. The coach that took them there, Adrian Titorescu, he was the coach for these two guys at the club. So when I walked into this place, this was the best place to go. And the reason I went to this place was because Adrian taught us, or he was, when I went to the provincials, he was the provincial coach. And that's where I had met him. So he was pretty much the only man I knew in Toronto. So that's why I went to this gym. But when I got to that gym, that was the gym to be at. That was the place to be, and I had no idea it was the place to be. So I mean, there was every nationality of kid there. There was young kids, big kids, old kids, and it was just the place to be. Going every day, I just loved it. Just loved the atmosphere, just loved the whole bit. And then my coach, well, he wasn't my coach at the time, he was just the head coach. He called me into his office and said, close the door, sat me down. I'm thinking, oh, something going on here, there's something wrong. Sit down. And he had a Romanian accent, very, very hard to, very strong Romanian accent. And he was like, Dominic, I want you to go and get some tune-up fights, and then we're gonna go to the provincials, we're gonna win the provincials, then we're gonna go to the nationals, we're gonna win the nationals. From the nationals, we're going to go to the Commonwealth Games. Maybe we win a medal, maybe we don't, but and then from there we're going to go to the Olympic Games. You know, I'm sitting there thinking, this guy's a little touched. Like, there's something wrong here that he's got all these hopes. Yeah, okay, sounds great. And I left, and it wasn't until a few of these goals that he had set out for me started coming true that I actually said, oh, maybe I can do this. So he set out the goals, and we accomplished them, and yeah, as you know, the rest is history. 2 Olympic Games, 10 national championships, and I owe a lot to that man.
In ring 3, 106-pound class, in the red corner, from Michigan, Floyd Mayweather. In the blue corner, from Detroit, Domenic Filane Figliomeni.
I'd say one of the biggest fights, and I didn't know it was a big fight at the time, was when I fought Floyd Mayweather back in, I think it was 1993, Golden Gloves, USA Golden Gloves. I was representing Detroit. I'd just come back from the Barcelona Olympics. I had lots of confidence. A lot of hype was put on me to win this tournament. It was the second time I was there. And so then met up with this kid, Floyd Mayweather, in, I think it was the semifinals or something like that. And they kept telling me, oh, you got to watch this kid. He's fast, he's smooth, all this kind of stuff that, trying to keep me on my toes. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is just a kid. He's just 16 years old. I'm a seasoned vet and whatnot. I didn't really know the Mayweather name or anything like that because his father was a champion and his uncle Roger was a champion. And so it turned out the kid was pretty good and really smooth and really fast. And the fight didn't go my way. I lost a 3-2 decision, which people say I won, and I thought at the time I won too, and I thought I got ripped off or whatnot. But when you look back at it now, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it was a great experience. And then just years later, the people that know Floyd now, that he's a multi-time world champion and pound for pound maybe the greatest fighter ever, they talk to him and he still remembers the name Domenic Filane. He still remembers the fight, and he was telling those guys there that he was nervous fighting me back in the day because, I just got back from the Olympics. He heard all about me, and they were really nervous and thought maybe this was the guy that was gonna defeat Floyd. So to hear that now in hindsight, 30 years later, it's pretty impressive. And that he can still remember the name Domenic Filane is pretty touching.
The Wall of Fame consists of photographs from around the world of Dominic meeting not only boxing celebrities, but also several prominent world figures. During his travels, he would bring the Schreiber flag and share Canadian and Schreiber souvenir pins with everyone he met. Each photograph has a detailed, compelling story. Dominic was asked to share his top 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of inspiration from a lot of the people that I met. A lot of them are on that wall, but the big ones I would say would be definitely Queen Elizabeth. That is something that, growing up you learned about Queen Elizabeth. You learned about all this stuff. You see her everywhere. She's our queen, and actually get a chance to talk to her, meet her, talk to her, get my picture with her. Very honored for that. So she's coming through, but as I didn't realize, as she's coming through, so is security, and they're arm in arm, locked arm in arm as she's coming by. So I went into my fanny pack, which were cool at the time. I opened up my fanny pack and pulled out some pins, one of Schreiber, one of our national team, and one of the Canada ones that they gave us. So I just put them in my hand, and as she was walking by, I sort of caught her eye, put my hand through the security guards, and she stopped. She looked at me. Then security's rushing all on me. Okay, I'm going to jail. There we go. She goes, no, wait. What did you want to give me? So I just have some pins from my hometown of Schreiber, and I'm from Canada, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's nice. What happened to your hand? Because I had I hurt my hand in the fight. I says, oh, I hurt my hand in my boxing match or whatever. Oh, you're boxing, you're from Canada and Schreiber. And we just had a little conversation. She was genuinely wanted to know what happened to my hand, what sport, how I did, how I'm enjoying the games, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, nice meeting you. And she walked by, and I'm standing there stunned, like just earth-shattered, stunned, and going, oh my God, I just talked to the Queen. Number 2, I would say Muhammad Ali. Again, he's a legend. He's the greatest of all time. He's gone through some very historical things. His life is not all roses, but it turned out to be a great man, and I had the great opportunity of meeting him. And actually the picture you've seen on the wall is taken by another great man, Angelo Dundee. He was Muhammad Ali's trainer, as well as Sugar Ray Leonard and all those. My dad sat with Angelo Dundee watching my fight at the Olympics, and I had met Angelo before at the Golden Gloves, so they started talking and whatnot. So Angelo saw me as the security is bringing Muhammad Ali through the Olympic Village, and says, hey Dom, how are you? I says, good. Hey, you know the champ? yeah, everybody knows the champ, but I've never met him. Or, give me your camera, I'll take your picture. So he took the camera, went in, through all the security. Beautiful picture. I mean, he's a great photographer, actually. So that picture on the wall, it means a lot. The third biggest one, I guess, I would have to say, would be Nelson Mandela. Here's a guy we've read about in history books, going to be reading about history books for the rest of our kids' lives or whatever. I mean, that was a great man who did a lot of great things. You know, he was in prison, the whole bit, the movie, the whole bit, and to actually meet him, shake his hand, was like, it was an honor. I mean, when you shake a man like that's hand, it's like electricity goes through your whole body. It's like you can't even believe that it happened. And I was fortunate enough to be in the area, to be selected, to be, you know, you want to meet Mandela? Yeah, yes, I do.
Dominic has represented Canada and his hometown of Schreiber with distinction. The strong support from his coaches, peers, friends, and family, coupled with his remarkable self-determination and discipline, has paved the way for his many successes.
My brother Jerry, who is 10 months younger than me, once I started in Toronto at the national level or whatever, he followed us, and he was a national team member as well. He never won the Canadian Championships, but he was always on the B team. Like he fought some really tough guys in Canada. The Mike Stranges, who was 11-time Canadian champion, went to the Olympics 3 times. That's the division Jerry was in. He also had guys like Billy Irwin in his division. And then when he did come on trips with us, he always went to some big events. Where one tournament we went to Biloxi, Mississippi, and we fought the American team. He ended up fighting Oscar De La Hoya. And as anybody that knows boxing right now, Oscar De La Hoya is probably a legend in the sport. He won the 1992 Olympic gold medal and went on to be a multi-time world champion, and now he's a promoter. So he's fought some big guys, and you know, he doesn't quite get the credit he deserves for it, but he was right there. And met a lot of great people, and that's one of the biggest highlights of this event of boxing, is that I met a lot of great people and learned a lot of great lessons and got to see a lot of great places. That I traveled the world, and I traveled the world to places I would never ever have bought a ticket to go to. Bombay, India. I went to Bombay, India. I never paid for a thing, and it was a lifetime experience that I would never ever taken advantage of on my own if it wasn't just for boxing. I grew up in a small town of Schreiber, Ontario, where I was out in the streets, and I was outside and playing in the baseball field and the street, and we were riding our bikes all over town, and there was no restrictions. We could do what we wanted, because the town is full of family. The town is full of good friends. Everybody knows everybody, so we always felt protected. We always felt someone's looking out for us or our kids, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to raise my family here, small town, close to my family. Kids can grow up and be kids and have all the things I talked about and more: fishing, hunting, swimming, everything. So I mean, seeing what my friends were doing in Toronto wasn't what I wanted to do for my kids growing up. And they could do what I did. When time comes, go to college, go to the big city, see what it is you want to do, see what it is you want to invest your life in, and maybe you might want to come home. I hope they do, because it's beautiful, and it's, as long as you can make a living here, it's paradise.